Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to EMAC's Chamber. I'm still in my head, say the old name. EMAC Chamber Chat. Meet our members. We are it is Friday the 13th. Like, you gotta say Friday, May 13th, because you don't want to, yeah. So anyway, we are at our Red Bank studio with the Shared Universe, Shared Universe podcast studio, our partner. We had a very interesting morning, so we apologize for starting a little bit late. We are often with Chris Mad, our tech, for a Shared Universe. Why, God, and I can't even talk. I'm all messed up now. So anyway, we were here, and we're like, where's Chris? He's always here ready for us. And poor Chris had gone to their other studio, the other location at Bellworks. And so we're like, no, we're here in Red Bank. And so we're a little bit behind schedule, but we're going to give you a full hour of awesome entertainment today. Woohoo!
Oh, boy.
Today, my co-host is Marie Noglos from Woodward Realty Rumson. Our guest today is
Chris.
I know. I'm trying to think of his last name. It's going out of my... Chris from PCS. Chris, what's your last name?
Church.
Chris Church. I know his name. And
that.
it's right there, right? Okay, so maybe we should... It's Friday the 13th. Can we just start...
Sure.
Repeat that. It is Friday the 13th, so everything that comes out of my mouth may come out backwards. And it just may... And we just hope I don't say anything that's totally bad.
No.
Right.
So we've also had a busy week. We've had a really busy week. So EMAC moved our office.
Yes.
We have our new location is at 97 Apple Street in Tinton Falls. We're very excited. Doubled my commute from Rumson to Red Bank. Was 10 minutes, and now from Rumson to Tinton Falls, it's 20 minutes. So, I'm getting used to that.
Okay.
Trains, got to pass trains. I didn't have any trains before. I got trains now. So I'm sorry, I'm distracted. So anyway, we moved on Friday. Monday morning, we met with the Middletown Business Roundtable with Commissioner Director Arnone and Mayor Tony Perry, and I believe Nick DeRocco is also a commissioner. Yes?
Nick DeRocco is the commissioner.
Thank you. And Nick DeRocco was there as commissioner, and Jacqueline Mejas Fuertes from the Monmouth Ocean Development Small Business Development Center. Woo! You can just chime in when I'm choking here, Chris. Go right ahead.
At Brookdale, though.
At Brookdale.
Yes.
But she is in charge of the Monmouth Ocean Small Business Development Council at Brookdale. She's also a professor at Brookdale. She's also on our board.
Yep.
Anyway, so she was there, and we got to talk to the small businesses of Middletown, so we really liked that. So that was an 8 o'clock start on a Monday morning after moving for our weekend. And then we had a business networking breakfast, which was really exciting on Wednesday. We had Kara Graham from Graham Behavioral Health. Graham Behavior. Okay, I think I'll leave. You guys are now in charge, and so she did a great job talking about maybe mental exhaustion in the workplace. I don't know, maybe that was it. But that was sponsored by CMIT Solutions and GrantVest Financial Investments, so we really appreciate our sponsors for that. We had last night our EMAC's Next Generation at Proving Ground. We had an after hours there. That was our first drinks were sponsored by Guaranteed Rate. New member Brian Kelly, so that was really exciting. We had a nice turnout for that. So, if you're getting the hint here, we're talking about sponsorships a lot. I want to give a good shout out to our corporate sponsors. So we have our corporate sponsor, Packaging Distribution Resources in Edison, who's been with us for 2 years as a sponsor. Greatly appreciate all that they've done for us. They are unique packaging designs, manufacture packaging, and get it all out to get your product safely and creatively to the right location. And then we have our other corporate sponsor, which is Nissan City of Red Bank, which we absolutely adore them. And if you're a member of EMAC, they have a special out. Did you know you can do that? If you're just a member of EMAC, you can offer something special to other EMAC members. You can, any car on the lot, get $500 off right off the bat, just for being a member of EMAC. And I think it's a 15% discount on service as well. So visit them, 120 Newman Springs Road, with efficient processes, transparent pricing, and the respect you deserve.
Wow.
Thank you. I really want to give a shout out to Nina and Tom, who said it right before I got here on Thunder 106, so I could remember it. Good morning, Courtney Alessi. It is nice to have you with us again. Great event you ran last night. Thank you for having us. So we're we're getting started. So we're busy.
We're
Busy. We have another event, our business after hours, on Tuesday the 24th at the Courtyard.
In
I'm sorry, the Courtyard Marriott in Tinton Falls, because I just remembered the really important thing I'm supposed to talk about. You remember what?
Not in Tinton
It's in
Falls.
Red Bank on Half
It's
Mile.
on Half Mile Road in Red Bank. It's okay.
You want me to leave?
No.
I should leave.
No, you
I should leave. It really is, because, see, now I live...
You have Tinton Falls on your brain. That's
Yeah.
all. You're thinking about the office. It's
I
okay.
do.
fair.
I
It's
do.
okay.
You guys give me a break?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I can hold you to
How much editing can you do? Oh, it's live on Facebook. Hello, everyone. Courtney said, thanks for coming. We had a great time. See you in Red Bank at the Courtyard. Thanks, Courtney. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. It's at Red Bank on Half Mile Road. Anyway, and our first drink sponsor is Tim Davis from Advisors Mortgage.
Correct.
So we love our people who buy our first drinks. We also like all of our other sponsors. But you know what's really important about this month?
What's up?
Please tell me you know. You just wait.
Which thing?
Which thing? Everything
Which
is so
thing?
important this
Yeah.
month. This is our small business mini membership
Membership.
month. See, I wanted you to say it so I wouldn't screw
That's
it up again.
too many.
So for the month of May, EMAC, we're very respectful of small businesses. Many of our members are small businesses, and the first week of May is always Small Business Week. So we decided to make that go for the whole month. We reached out to our members and have members of EMAC who have decided to offer special discounts, again, to our members who join us the month of May. So if you join us in the month of May as a member, you do not pay your administration fee. So you get that little lovely discount.
Nice little break.
Yep. And then you also get a swag bag full of fun stuff and member-to-member discounts. So great offers. We had quite a few people who took advantage to place offers in those bags. So anyone who joins us in May gets a swag bag and a $30 off for their administration fees. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it might be a gallon of gas.
Maybe.
Might be a gallon of gas. Maybe it might, on a good day when it's feeling a little low, give you 2 gallons, but we're not quite sure, right?
We're not there
We're
yet.
not there yet. So, what a weird weather we've been having, isn't it? I mean, normally I don't talk about the weather, but we've been having really weird weather.
I know.
Chime in.
Usually April starts to get nice. Remember when the kids used to have that break around Easter?
Yeah.
It would always be nice when we'd go away. It's still
Everything
fall
has
or
shifted
winter.
back.
Not winter. It's still like fall weather.
It's gross. It's like rainy and it's like, but next week, sunshine
hope.
and
Let's
then
hope.
60s. That's what I'm
Let's hope.
seeing.
Let's
We
hope.
were discussing the weather outside, so that's why we had to continue to bring it in here.
Yes.
So,
and it must be nice for the next couple weeks.
Yeah, let's hope it's going to be nice for the next
So
couple
we
weeks.
can get to the beach.
Beach opens, yeah. I don't. For those of you who listen, if you aren't around this area, Memorial Day weekend is a big weekend around here because even though we live at the beach all year, we don't always. We do go, but it's not this. It's like kind of weird. We go have our little beach clubs open and we hang out and see our summer friends.
And it's gonna be
You're friends with your people all year long. I'm
Yes.
friends with them, but I don't see them. I'm still friends with you guys. Love you, but I don't see them most of the winter time because we all have our different lives. But we come this summer and we see each other like.
every day.
I don't know, 27. I think we leave to sleep for 4 hours before we're back.
But a lot of people are going to be miserable this summer if the bridge is going to cause a lot of problems.
I don't know if it is.
Seabright to Rumson Bridge.
Because they're not. It's going to be traffic that way is always bad, but they're not. They're doing the work off the bridge. They're not
Correct.
replacing that bridge, so that bridge is going to be okay.
It's just the
It's
things moving, the big vehicles moving back and forth.
Oh yeah, but they're not going to do that on the weekends,
That's
and
right.
that's when the majority of the traffic
Yeah,
is.
that's true. That's true.
So yeah, traffic was very weird during the pandemic.
I'd rather be in traffic in sunny weather, though. I don't care.
Right.
True.
Right. True that. True that. What's it like down in Toms River?
Oh, I mean, I'm 10 minutes from the beach, so.
So so am I, unless it's 4th of July weekend and it can
Well.
take 2 hours.
Well, that's different up here.
Yeah.
By me, it's.
Oh, by you it's the same.
Yeah, and I have a 4-year-old, so I'm at the beach by 7, so.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You know what? Don't rub that in. I don't mind going
Can
to
you
the
come
beach
put
at 10.
our chairs up first?
Yeah, we do.
Oh,
We do.
I'll
Actually,
shoot you an invoice and let you know what it looks
okay. My circle has
Her
those
group
special
does that.
friends. My circle has the friends who get up and walk, and they go to the beach and they put everybody's chairs out to reserve because we have quite a large circle. It's kind of embarrassing. And my circle of friends, we're actually at the same beach club. My circle of friends sits with her circle where she and I can make faces at each other across the beach.
Or do work
Or
Texas.
do work yeah, we do that too a lot of
Or
times.
if I
So-
need an extra drink.
Who's Scott Pickering? Get Chris closer to the microphone. Thank you, Scott. Chris will get closer to the microphone. We can also try to have Chris Mad turn his little mic up too. When we let him speak, though, the poor guy's stuck here with 2 women. So, we'll
Thanks,
see.
Scott. I appreciate
Doesn't
it.
get a chance.
So anything else we can think of that we have to talk about? I mean, always there's awesome stuff coming up. We're working on our
Yes.
summer party. We're
Right.
working on...
We have our June planned already.
Our June
Business
be-
after hours.
Right.
26 West, and again in Red Bank.
Our business networking breakfast is on the second Wednesday of June at the Middletown Arts Center. We're going to be speaking about entrepreneurship, coming up with your great ideas and making them successful businesses. And then we only have 2. So far, we only have 2 on schedule
We
for
only
this
have 2.
month of June. But
Yes, and then
yeah.
July, the summer
part- yeah, the
bash.
summer bash.
And then we usually take off in August.
In August, I believe in July we may have a women in business too.
Yes, they're trying to put something together. That was a very successful event.
That's been a
That
very
was
success.
really
Yeah, our
successful.
women like to talk to
Sorry,
each
we
other.
cut you out.
No, we
it's
did
okay.
it. Do
I hear great
don't
things.
you remember what we've done for the men?
Oh.
This is our amazing thing. So we've been talking about sponsorships. You can sponsor an event, and then if you sponsor an event, if you're a premier sponsor, you get 5 minutes to speak, address everybody, get to see the people there so that they see your logo leading up to it, promote your business, and then you get to actually address the group. But the Women in Business is strictly for women. If you're a woman, you understand that. If you're a man, you don't, and I'm sorry. There's no way to explain it to you. It's just the way it is. So,
I
but
get it.
You do? Thank
Yeah,
you.
I have 3 women at home. So.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Yes.
Surrounded
My
by
husband as well, so he kind of gets that too. So, but the men on the board are like, well, why can't we come? Why can't we come? So Shannon Fisone, who's our chairman of our Women in Business Committee, came up with this great idea. Because men want to reach out to women-owned businesses. Of course, that's all. It's a whole other group to reach out to, and so we've come up with the plan that they can be a premier sponsor, and they can do a video introduction that we will show,
Present.
and guess what? Now you're going to appreciate this as the man with 3 women. When you do a 5-minute video presentation, nobody can interrupt you or talk back. So we figure it's the best of both worlds, right? You guys get to promote yourselves, you get to show your business, what you're all about, to our Women in Business group, and then
And not deal with the
and
women.
not deal with us.
I don't know if I could speak in front of a group of women like that.
It's
Like a whole room.
right? I think you better be careful what they ask for, in my opinion. I kind of think but if you are a male-owned business and you have female team members,
They can come.
They can come and present for you. It does not have to be just you. So way to promote the
nice.
women in your business.
Yeah.
So when you hire your woman, because you're still setting up your team here.
Correct.
Yeah. So when you hire your woman, that sounded
Yeah.
horrible.
I want to just move past that.
Okay, we're moving. No, I say something horrible and have to repeat it because it's just how brilliant I am, especially today when I'm on such a roll, right? Okay, get yourself together, co-host.
Okay.
It wasn't that funny. Okay. You were laughing at Chris's laugh more than anything else. I know you were. So anyway, so that's what we're doing. So we do have sponsorships still available with plenty of time to promote for our business after hours in
Yes.
May, which is on the 24th, for our business after hours and our business networking. We'd be happy to take extra sponsors, but we've already got full sponsors for that. But we will be happy to take extra sponsors for breakfast. But ENG, Women in Business, Business After Hours could all use your lovely investment in your business and in EMAC and the committees that we serve and the community that we serve and the businesses that we serve. But I'm done. Let's talk about. You got anything you want to talk about?
No, you about hit it all.
I did, huh?
Yeah.
Poorly.
So,
You
Chris-
would have done a much better job. Why don't you introduce Chris? Because you're one of the reasons Chris is with us.
Yeah, I think so.
From Nissan. We met at another network, and
What was their slogan again?
There's Nissan. It is. Wait, I can do it. It is efficient processes, transparent pricing, and the respect you deserve.
There you go.
nice.
I think I get you on payroll.
Yeah, kaboom. We had a networking event in Membership Month in October last year at Nissan, which was really fun. And Chris came and joined us and for that event. And you guys talked quite a bit.
Been ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us, Chris, a little bit. This is Chris Church, everyone, from PCS. What's PCS and who are you?
PCS is a managed IT service, so it's Pro Computer Services. Started out about 21 years ago. The owner started it down in South Jersey, Moorestown, not Morristown, which gets confusing up here.
Moorestown,
Correct.
yeah.
Yep. So he started the business out door to door, just doing home residential stuff. Got into a couple businesses, and it kind of blew up from there. Him and I got connected a few years back, and since then I was looking to kind of start my own thing, and he was looking to open an office in Central Jersey. The plan was opening it back in probably March of 2020, but things happened. But
things didn't open in March of 2020.
yeah, a lot of things went the other way.
Yeah.
But we're glad to bounce back. We were able to open our office here in Red Bank in October, right around when that event was, so it was perfect. And so we're just out here trying to get connected with the community, get the name out there. We do IT for small, medium, large-sized businesses.
What are small? I think, and I'm asking this question because I think people always have different definitions of what small, medium, and large are. I know I was way off on what the government considers small, medium, and large versus what we consider small, medium, and large. What do you consider small, medium, and large?
So the reason why I say it like that is because we can really touch and help anybody, and that's what we're out here for. But I would say small would be probably sub 30, 20 employees, and then medium 50 to 100, large 150 plus, kind of that range. But we could do a lot of different things for multiple different companies, and we're here to help really more the small, medium businesses that can't hire an entire IT staff.
Right.
So we can really help you from an IT operations from the top down. We have a CCIO, which is essentially your chief information officer.
I was going to
stuff
say
like
you
that.
have to get somebody just referred to those things as alphabet soup the other day. I think that was the best thing. Like they looked at our EMAC label and they're like, "What is your alphabet soup?" And I'm like, "Oh, I love that."
That's a good way to do it.
So the CCI speak
Yeah.
non-soupy for us, please.
I always like you cut me off a little bit, but
I'm
I
sorry.
like to say
Makes
it, and
them
then,
sound
I'll,
important.
no. But the CCIO is essentially the client chief information officer.
Okay.
So it's kind of essentially your ability to outsource those directive roles.
Okay.
So that individual will handle all of your any operation stuff you have to do. So if it's budgeting, if you have a new project coming out, we'll go vet vendors, really anything an internal team would do, and kind of give you that opportunity where with a small company, you'll have one IT person who's doing day-to-day help desk, trying to be proactive support, trying to do, vendor support, trying to do all that, which is just too much for one person to handle.
That is too much for one person to handle.
It's a lot. So we try to offer that as a service, essentially full IT department as a service.
Great. And a little bit about you.
So I've been in IT for about 15 years. I started when I was in high school, a senior in high school, worked at a little mom and pop shop, learned a little bit there. Moved on from there. I was in retail for a while, doing some IT support. And then I think we talked a little bit about I worked in Piscataway for 5.5 years for a manufacturing company as their internal IT. And that's kind of where I learned a lot of the corporate structure IT. And then from there is when I got connected with PCS, and here we are now.
That's great. And you have so you're now running the office here in Red Bank.
Yep. So I'm heading the office here, and we're looking to build it up. We have similar 2 remote locations, one in Delaware, one in Vineland, that they started about 9-10 years ago. Similar kind of concept. So trying to do that up here. We like to try to keep all of our offices within an hour of our clients, so that we're able to get there efficiently if we need to. Probably like 80% of our work is remote, especially these days.
Right.
But if there is an issue, we try not to. Again, we're big about customer service, so I try to be able to get there within the hour, and not have. If I'm going to be on the phone with you for an hour trying to have you unplug things,
Right.
I'll just come
over
site.
and do it.
Yeah.
That is so
easier.
appreciated too, because then
The
there's-
person on the other side gets very flustered.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
You're already flustered.
that yeah. It's very frustrating, especially when you sit there and go, now how do I download this? I'm a Mac person.
Yeah.
All the computers in the office are PCs.
Yep.
So I can run my computer. I can do what I can do. I know what I'm doing. And they'll go, Jennifer, I can't do this. And I'm looking and I'm going, oh crap, what do I do with the PC? I mean,
You
it shouldn't be
start
that
Googling.
hard, but for me, it's like, so to be able to have somebody who knows what they're doing to come over and be able to do it, and even teach and walk you through it. So the
Exactly.
next time, if it's
Exactly.
not
Not
so
like
that's
not like
appreciated.
my husband. Move over. I'll fix it. But I need to see
Well, do you know
how
my
you're
kids do that,
doing.
too?
My kids too. Oh, especially with the phone, the cell
yeah.
phones. But show it to me. Do you know how long it took me to learn how to cut and paste?
Oh.
Because
Oh,
nobody
sorry.
would show me.
Next time, call me.
Oh
I
no!
will
Now
show you.
I'm a
Control-C,
whiz.
Control-V.
I can figure anything.
Cut and
out.
paste
I
pro.
Google everything
I mean,
for instructions.
not to put any IT people on blast, but that's what we do.
Yeah.
If you have to have the troubleshooting skills and have a basis of the understanding, but
To know what to Google.
yeah, exactly. So
Yes.
Google is an art. It is.
It
Finding
is
the
an
right
art.
article based
Yes.
off your keywords is very tough.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it is.
You're right.
Well, we will get a lot of people who will call our office and ask about a business. Is it open? What do we know? Where is it?
Look it up.
And we always laugh. We're like, I wonder if they Googled our number to call us, because that would be really cool. And then we just sit there and we go, let me look for you. You know, it's like the best tool ever.
I mean,
We shouldn't be saying that. They'll hear us and want to charge money for it.
I mean, it's free advertising.
It is. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Or you want to
Yeah.
charge them.
There you go. You're welcome, Google.
But no, it's an art. One of my past employers, my manager, really taught me, because I'd get stuck on something and I never want to ask for help until I'm like
Right.
completely
Really,
stuck.
right? Yeah.
And I would Google this, but I can't find it. I'd be like, hey, can you take a look at this for me? 2 seconds, sends me an article. I'm like, what did you search?
Right.
Like, how'd you find this so quick? I've been trying to look for this for an hour.
I'm just proud of you that you asked for help, because
I mean,
would you ask for help if you get lost? Like, my husband won't stop and ask somebody for directions.
I mean, that's not really a time anymore unless your phone's dead.
Yeah. Well, true. There. I guess I ask for help all the time. Siri, how do I get to? Yes, I'm. You're right. You're right. We're a little bit older than you, so therefore,
Yeah.
you know.
Like a 2-3 years time.
Yeah. Thanks. Okay. What's your favorite thing about your job?
I love, especially now, I love seeing multitudes of business and how technology affects it and how technology can help your process and kind of help your company develop. Technology, and that's the thing, is that's why we're not cookie cutter. Every business does work differently, and technology touches their business differently, whether it's processes or workflows, whatever the case may be. So being able to see how each business, because I really enjoy the back end business operations of it, so seeing that and seeing how we can help and make people's lives easier and their work easier, which is kind of what technology is all about, is what I really enjoy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. What's one of your like I could go a different direction. So let's say, what is one of the most challenging things your industry is dealing with currently?
I mean, cybersecurity. I mean, that's what any business specifically is dealing with, which has made things very difficult. You know, from cyber security insurance, right? So over the last 5 years, it's become such an incline of ransomware attacks and everything like that. So these businesses, small businesses specifically, used to be able to just call somebody up, hey, I want cyber insurance. Like, you're done, good, you're covered. Now they're getting 10, 15, 20-page packets that the Fortune 500 companies used to do. And there's a lot of non-negotiables now. If you don't have this, we don't cover you. So really, we're getting an influx of people coming in now who are realizing this is something that they need, and they haven't done any proactive work or any upgrading in the last 5 years. So they have a lot to get to where they'll be able to cover it.
I had noticed a lot of, and it's more on a smaller, not from a business standpoint, but more smaller personal stuff, like the insanity of the types of calls and texts I get on my cell phone, which is all scam related. And I found it to be exponentially larger since the pandemic. So I'm wondering, did all these really smart people have nothing else to do and now have found they can make money being crooks, as opposed to getting jobs in the workforce that are still looking for people? Like, how did that? I'm sorry, that was quite judgmental of me. But
No,
like,
it's true.
what was it? What do you think? Do you think it was because of the pandemic, or do you just think it was technology in 2 years developed, or like, what has seemed to have caused this incredible exponential growth of cyber?
It might have been a hit of both. I mean, going with the pandemic, a lot of things that opened the door was a lot more security risks pushing everybody remote. So that could be a little bit about it. But really, people have just progressively gotten worse. I mean, we have a division of our company that handles specifically incident response. So we work with different insurance companies and different vendors that bring us in if a company gets compromised. And we started that maybe about 3 years ago, and it's an ebbs and flows type of deal, but it's ramped up for sure. Like, we started with 2 or 3 people, now we have a team that manages this where we'll have multiple engagements running at a time. So I think it's just ramped up. They've seen the vulnerabilities out there, realizing people aren't really staying up to date on their environment, and it's a crazy world. I mean, not to kind of sidestep, but some of these issues with these ransomware attacks, they're in your environment for 2 to 3 months before they even attack you, because they're trying to find every nook and cranny, follow the breadcrumbs, find any of the backups that you may have not done off-site or encrypted, and ensure that you're completely at their mercy once they encrypt you.
And they've also, by that point, somebody else in the same industry had said they've already got all the information.
Yes, and here's the thing. I don't want to speak for all of it, but most of the time they don't really care about your information in the terms of they have it as more ransom, yes, and they'll show you that they have it, and that's kind of whether it's HIPAA data, whether it's PCI data, credit card data, but the real problem is that they want you at the mercy to get your data back, right? They want you to pay based off of you don't have any backups, your company is completely down, and the only way to get back up is to pay them the ransom and get the decryptor, because that's what they do. They encrypt everything with a key that they only have, and then what they'll do is you'll send them a file and you'll verify that they decrypt it and send it back to you, and then they'll give you whatever the cost is. Sometimes it's $500,000 or even more. I mean, sometimes it's over $1 million, depending on the size of the corporation.
That's so scary.
Yeah. It's very interesting. That's what drives all the price of the insurance up, because there's been so much over the last couple of years.
Yeah. And it's hit every industry.
Oh, there's not an industry they won't go for. I mean, unless you're completely paper, they have nothing they can do for you.
And everybody makes fun of my binders. I keep everything in binders. I have so much paper. They're like, you're moving, shred your paper. No, I have to have my paper.
Well, in our business, we have paper folders for contracts that we keep in the office. Then we have the our emails. Then we have this other thing called SkySlope where we store it all in. So we have so many spaces, and we have to keep all that stuff for 20 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow. You're 20 years?
I think it's 20 years because they keep coming and checking.
Do you have to have it paper, or can you hire a company? Because there's companies that will actually digitize your data.
Paper.
Really?
Too. Yeah, that's what they want.
Well,
to say.
I guess any type of paperwork contracts like that. I know the title industry is crazy with
Yes, they are also.
with the paper. That's an interesting business. But
Yeah.
That's crazy. So no more making fun of my binders. Good morning, Heather Baker. Heather also is part of last night's fun event.
yeah, sorry, Heather. I missed it, unfortunately.
Chris had his tail between his legs when I got here this morning. He's like, I'm so sorry, I couldn't get out of work.
Yeah, it's been busy.
That's that's very good.
Yeah, no, it's
very
great. I can't complain.
So are you? I don't want to put you on the spot necessarily. So glance over this if it's not appropriate. But you said you were building a team.
Correct.
Are you currently looking for
Yep.
anything?
Yeah, we're
So tell
currently
us what
hiring. Yeah.
What are you hiring?
So we can hire anything, because even if it's a higher level position, we can leverage them back remotely for the South Jersey office. But really what I'm looking for more in this office is probably a level 1. Really, I'm getting connected with colleges, different programs in high schools, out of high school, because I didn't go to college for this. I learned it on the fly. If you're technical, you can learn this type of stuff. So really trying to find someone that's willing to kind of learn and grow with the team and has some technical chops. That's really it. If you can kind of troubleshoot a little bit, even if you're in your house and you do some troubleshooting for your parents and stuff like that, I can teach you that kind of stuff, workstation setup, stuff like that. So, but really open to anybody. The company's constantly growing. The one thing that we do is we scale with our clients. So we're about full company, about 200 employees right now. And every time we bring on a larger client, we have to scale with them to ensure that the original clients we had 10 years ago don't suffer. So we're always trying to scale, always trying to bring on good people. And it's really a good learning experience because we have a lot of very intelligent technicians and we feed off of each other. It's a very good culture. We're always helping each other out. We have internal chats. If you have issues, we'll hop on Zoom calls. So really, it's a good spot to start your career and really grow and learn.
That's great. That's great. And you heard it here first on email. So what made you join? I mean, you said you moved here, but what made you decide to join the chamber when you first moved here? Because you said you came to our event as soon as you got into your building. So what made you decide to choose EMAC, and what made you decide to stay with that?
I mean, complete transparency. When I moved here was, when we opened the office, I was looking for anything. We had I'm part of a couple chambers down south, a couple chambers in the area, but having something, kind of dead smack in the middle of Red Bank, I think made the most sense. And I enjoyed the event at Nissan. There was really good people, the conversation. Everyone was very open to talking with you. If somebody was kind of off on their own, which networking can be a little scary sometimes,
Very
obviously.
scary.
So if you had a couple people or one person off, they'd always try to bring them into the conversation or approach them so it wasn't uncomfortable. So it was a nice environment. And, even we went to your gala, your dinner, which was
Spinnaker.
beautiful.
Spinnaker,
Yep,
yep.
Spinnaker, which was beautiful. We had a great time. So really just trying to get connected with the community. And I think it's one of the best ways to do it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. We like having you. we do have we really do have a good group. Courtney said they missed you. Next time, they'll see you.
I will be there at the Courtyard Marriott in Red Bank.
In Red Bank. So let's get personal.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Do you care?
No.
Okay. Because you mentioned you're the only man.
Correct.
So you.
Except for my dog. Jazz.
That's the same way at our house too.
Yeah.
So how old are your little girls?
My daughter Blake is 4, turns 5 in September, and my daughter Charlie is 4 months old.
Oh,
Yeah.
little baby.
Yeah, she's a great baby. I can't.
Yeah?
Yeah, she's got her sister beat right now. So.
Yeah. Well, that's because your sister can talk.
No, well, I mean in terms of the type of baby she was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my daughter Blake was very colicky.
Oh, that's so tough.
Yeah, it was tough, but I mean, 2 months in, I think my daughter Charlie was sleeping up once a night, maybe.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
So now my husband decided, because we have 2 little girls, you know, his thing was because they were not completely breastfed, so he could help out a bit. So I would go to bed early, and he would take like the 11 o'clock feeding. And he swears that is like the best thing in the whole world he ever did for his relationship with his daughters, because he bonded with them. It was his job to make sure they were good down for the night. Or at least if I had to get up in the middle of the night, then I could get up in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I had sleep, and it was such a great thing. But he's still so close to his girls.
Oh, I mean,
And they're 26 and 19, so it's lasted a while. So yeah,
yeah, I see the same pattern for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter Blake is attached to my hip.
good.
Yeah, and it's probably my wife's a stay-at-home mom, so she's with the kids all day long.
Mm-hmm.
So I think once I get home, it's a break, and I don't get to see her as much. So and especially since Charlie was born, I try to do a lot with her. So my wife's not a big breakfast person. I love breakfast, so I'll take my daughter out. Saturday mornings we'll go out, just her and I,
Walk to
do
the
our
beach.
breakfast stuff. Yeah, we used to in Point. There's a really nice breakfast place all the way at the end of the boardwalk. And we would go there at 7 o'clock when they open. We get to sit outside, see the beach. So I try to do that kind of stuff.
That's great. Ray would take the kids to the grocery store on Saturdays, like load up both little girls, and I'm still like such a soft spot when I see dads with their kids. I'm like, it doesn't have to be just girls, but yeah, dads with their kids. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
look at that.
Yeah, my wife says as they get older, I might not be able to go out alone, but we'll see.
That's okay. So do you still do date night? Like,
Yeah.
do you and your wife still do? Because that was really important for us too.
Yeah, we try to do like once a month, or we'll just do date night at home. A lot of times
yeah.
during the week, my daughter's usually in bed by 8.
I was gonna say they go to bed early enough that you
Yeah.
can actually, if your wife is still not exhausted, you can.
Yeah,
Still to have a conversation.
yeah, like even last night. I mean, that's usually our way. I get home, my daughter Blake just finished eating. We'll put them to bed by 7:30, 8 o'clock. She'll hop in the shower, and I'll start trying to get some dinner ready, or go get dinner, depending how
Yeah.
long the day was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. Do you think they're going to be sport kids, tech kids, theater kids? What do you think?
My daughter Blake is going to be, I think, more sports. She did soccer, she's doing dance and gymnastics right now, and she loves the ritual and making sure she's doing something and trying very hard at it. You can see how if she's not, the gymnastics we go to is not as strict as dance, and she's like, I don't know how much I like it because there's not a real structure in place. So
What kind of dance? Ballet?
right now she's doing ballet. So she's been in dance since she was 2, and they kind of change it up as you go along. It's been ballet, but this is the first year they do ballet and tap.
Oh, cool.
So it's half and half.
Tap. I wish I'd kept tapping. But
I
ballet
did it
is
for
one
12
of.
years.
Did you?
Yes. Oh, I missed. I'm mad at my dad for letting me stop.
Yeah. So the one thing with ballet is the most rigorous training, as far as like the most regimented.
Yeah.
The other dance is so much more free, and
Yes.
ballet is very
Very
fluid and beautiful, but very like stuck on the.
Yeah.
I'm sure all the
And
people
I'm
who
sure
have
it gets
business-
costly too, because I did ballet, tap, toe, and jazz, and I was there 4 or 5 days a week.
Well, yeah, I've already been kind of prompted that if she becomes a full-fledged dance girl, I'm in trouble. So
Yeah.
I might have to pick up a second job.
Have you ever watched Dance Moms?
No.
So
Don't,
don't watch
don't,
Dance Moms. But I have to tell you that one of the dancers goes to James Madison.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. One of Jamie's, I think either Jamie's roommate or a friend of hers is in the class with her.
I
So like
was a
famous
dance mom
kid dance. You were a dance mom. I was
for
not. I'm a
Julia.
theater mom.
And I was the oldest mom there because Julia is my baby, and I had her late in life. I'm by 15 years the oldest, and there were a few that I'm still really good friends with that saved me.
Yeah?
It's
I hear it's a little cutthroat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It depends. If it's I never did the competition stuff.
Oh, this was competition.
No, I never did any competition.
We actually got asked this year if she wanted to go in, because it was smart what they're doing is they're doing like pre-competition
Right,
stuff
to see
for
if
the
they
younger
can-
kids
right.
to see if the kids are into it, but also see if the parents want to be about it, because it's
a
big
commitment.
thing. It is a
It's
big
a
commitment.
big-
Huge. Any sport beyond I think anything you do beyond just recreational
Right,
or after,
yeah,
or
is-
just after school for fun is like then it can become. I don't remember it being like that when we were little. Did you do competition dance?
No.
No.
No, we did
We
the
didn't
recitals.
have it, right?
No,
No,
we just did recitals.
Yeah. I think my first competition thing was cheer, and I think which
never-
was cheerleading at the time.
Right.
We were cheerleaders. We didn't do cheer.
Okay.
It's cheer is something. It wasn't. It was cheerleading.
Yeah, no, I never.
And we did do competitions in high school, I think, but that was, and I don't anyway. This is probably going way off task. What's everybody saying? How their second children are always better as babies than, like Jen said, they start talking. Oh, Heather, you kill me. And can you imagine like what my two children are like? Both of them talk because Ray and I talk a lot. So like our house is crazy. So let's go back to business. What should we talk about for business?
Depends. What do you have? You have any topics?
I don't. Why don't you bring up something you want? Like that's what we don't prepare sometimes because we're like, let's just see how the conversation
Just go on
goes.
fly.
No, but what? Let's go back to him looking for people. You could if you have all the
Specs for the jobs.
yes
Job requirements?
add them onto
Oh yeah,
Chamber
I forgot that.
Master.
Did you know you can do that?
Hello.
No.
No, EMAC.
Yes.
Enlighten me.
Okay, so as a member of EMAC, we do provide at no charge you to be able on our website to put up job openings.
Okay.
So I forgot because we're trying to encourage our members to use it because obviously the more members that have jobs posted, the more people will go there, the more traffic, then the more posting, then the more results and the whole thing. So we're really trying to encourage our members to do that. I forgot. Thank you very much.
Yes, because then they can put it also on Facebook, on Instagram, and other social media.
Okay.
We
Get it out?
we wouldn't advertise on social media for you. Don't commit Jill to that. So, but
Well, if
it
I-
is on. You could.
Send it to me. I'll share.
She's really good on social media. We're
As long as they don't get hacked again.
Well, that's a whole nother.
yeah.
Well,
But- so you
speaking
could
of
do
that,
that, yes.
you talk about getting hacked. Something that a small topic is, if you're even an individual business owner, right, sole proprietor,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are using AOLs, Gmail, stuff like that. Spend a little extra money and get a true domain email address that's running on either like a Office 365 or a G Suite, because what you can do there, and I'll give you an example. I know somebody that their email got compromised, and it was a free email. The support is not great, and they still haven't been able to get back into their email, right? Because what happens is they get your password, they get into your email, then they change everything on the back end. So if you go to reset it, even if you had a phone number in there, if you had a backup email address, that's all changed. So the reset's going to them. So there's really no way, and the support for some of the free email is very poor. So it could take you a very long time to get your email back. If you have a corporate type of structured email and you have an admin account for that portal, it doesn't even have to be licensed, so it's not a cost on that user. You go in and reset the password. You have the back end access for that. Plus, it's a little bit more professional than coming across as like a Gmail or Hotmail or AOL, stuff like that. But
What is so this may not be in your realm, but you mentioned G Suite. What is G Suite?
so G Suite and Office 365 are very similar. You can utilize that as an email platform, right? So it's still like a backbone of Gmail, but it's your own email server. So you'd be able to have like at emac.org or whatever your email address is set up within there. Same thing. You can do a structure of administrator accounts and create within there. You can also do file sharing. You can do you can create like a cloud share essentially where you can all collaborate on. G Suite does a lot with Google Docs and
I was
stuff
gonna
like
say,
that.
so is G Suite Google?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. G Suite is Google, and then
Okay.
Office 365 is Microsoft.
Yes,
Yep.
that I know.
Yeah. That's one of like the first things we go into. If you're not running, if we go in, because one thing that we do is we'll come in and we'll go back to like the network stuff. If you're looking for help from a security standpoint, we'll go in and do a free eval. So we'll take a look at your environment. It's a 10,000 foot view, but we'll look at everything and we can get you kind of like a soup to nuts of your high, medium, and low vulnerabilities and kind of roughly what it costs to set up. And there's a lot of small security features you can put into your environment which aren't super costly. It's really just putting the time in and getting somebody to look at it. So for instance, not to go too high level, but if you're a larger organization and you have what's considered a domain, which is where just all your email and your users are structured, all your computers in the office their local administrator accounts can be managed. So what a lot of organizations will do, they'll create local administrator accounts and have the same password on all of them. If that password gets compromised, they can flush to all of the workstations in the environment. Microsoft has a tool which is called LAPS, which is Local Administrator Password Solution. and you're able to generate different passwords for each of those workstations, and then there's a database for you to query that, and then whenever your IT professional is going in to install an application, you're using that password. So even if it gets compromised, you're isolated to that machine. So again, there's no foolproof plan to stop you from getting compromised, but it's those little pieces you put in to just make it a little bit more difficult.
Because you guys are, I mean, your industry probably is moving as quickly to prevent as each new thing is coming up.
Correct.
Plus, trying to get ahead of it,
Yes,
I'm sure, but that's not as easy to do.
Well, that's like the magic word, proactive, right? A lot of people, again, we go back to the small businesses where you have one person who's answering all the calls of all the issues you're dealing with. You want them then managing all the updates and everything like that. And the proactive future work, almost impossible to do. So we're big on the proactive. We need to be looking ahead of time where we need to be putting these things into place before it expires, before your firewall, stuff expires. We have update management where we can manage patching on all of your workstations to ensure you're up to date and the latest Microsoft security vulnerabilities. So it's really having those tools in place that a one-person shop just can't handle.
Right. I'm glad that you're saying that, because one of the things that EMAC does is gets to know, and one of the reasons we love having this is to get to know the details of each individual business and what they specialize in, because we know that most of our businesses are very small businesses, and you don't have the people, you can't.
Yeah.
And so we can connect you with the people who do that. We try to do a lot of that and help with the marketing. That's part of the sponsorship and the stuff like that. Like, you can't have a marketing person, but let us help get your name out there with what we do.
Exactly.
And but we also do try very hard to recommend who's gonna, personality, person-wise, skill-wise, what are you trying to do, and do a lot of those connections for people. So we encourage our members to ask us if they're looking for someone. We often get many calls from out of the area, people looking for companies and stuff like that. So we always like to refer our members, and learning the detail. When you have over 250 members, it's hard to know the details of what everybody does. So we really like when we get to do this, to really get to find out.
Of course.
What the details.
It makes it easier to refer and recommend. That's kind of how I build my network as well. I like having different entities that I can work with, that I can refer out, and it's good to sit down, get a cup of coffee with them, chat, understand what they do a little more.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they say about networking too, is when you meet someone new, try to do that, so you just know a little bit more. So that you can be a good referral source. If you can't help, you want somebody who can.
Exactly.
And you want to be that person who says, oh, they couldn't help me, but they gave me somebody who could, so they're really trustworthy.
Well, that's it. You're a one-stop shop, right? Like, even though I'm in IT, if I know somebody that can help you in different aspects, and I'm the guy you come to for all that referrals, it makes me even more
valuable.
Valuable, yes.
Yeah. And the important thing is to have value. Give back value. Provide value. That's what we try. We try to do. What has been one of the most challenging situations you've come up with in your career?
Most challenging of my career, I would probably honestly say this jump. I have had sales backgrounds and different stuff like that. I've worn multiple hats in different areas, but I've never been in this position where it's more of a networking, right? We talk about networking, how that can be a little bit scary. So I think that's been part of my biggest challenge, is getting out to these networking events, really meeting people, trying to grow that network, things I just haven't had to do before, and kind of taking me outside of my comfort zone, which I do enjoy. Pushes myself, makes me a little bit more, internally confident. But I right now I'm doing everything. I'm the sales, I'm the support, I'm the project implementation. So like the last 2 weeks, I've had a lot on my plate. We've had a big issue right now is there's supply chain, which everybody's dealing with. So I've had a couple projects that have just been pending, and they all just came in at the same time. So I had like 3 or 4 projects I had.
Somebody finally unloaded that boat that had all the pieces on it.
Just was sitting outside. But that's been challenging, because I want to make sure that the hardware's here, and I want my clients who've been waiting for some 6 months to get completed, and I also have new things coming in and other calls and support. So it's interesting, and I think it's going to continue to be a challenge for me, but I kind of want to face that head on. I enjoy that.
Good for you.
Yeah.
You grow that way.
I mean, that's the only way you grow.
What's one of the hardest things? I mean, we keep hearing supply chain. Somebody, actually, our sponsor last night was talking about supply chain even as guaranteed rate, which is, I guess helping out. I don't want to pretend I understood that. But he was discussing supply chain last night too. And is there an industry that's struggling more with supplies? Is there a resource that's harder to get than others, or is it just in general everything?
I think technology as a whole, and just not IT, is having a lot of trouble. I mean, you look at the car shortages, a lot of these are from chipsets, right? Chips that are just shortage. I couldn't even tell you the reason for all of the shortage. I think I wouldn't want to say anyone specifically is hurt more. I mean, it's kind of across the board. It's something crazy. One of the vendors we work with, where 3 years ago, if I needed a network switch, right, 2 days, right, mostly in stock at our vendor, ships next day. Some of those same switches, they're looking at 180 to 365 day lead time.
Wow.
So that you're talking about more proactive, right? So now even these IT professionals or companies that are trying to be proactive and plan ahead and, quarter budget, so on, you have to look. If you're looking, hey, I need in 2 years, I'm going to have an upgrade for this hardware. I got to start thinking about it now.
And will the technology change in the 2 years to make the hardware that you try to order ahead? Like, I don't understand. Are you like, oh my gosh, I bought all this stuff 2 years, ordered all this stuff 2 years ago?
Phones, the cell phones, after 2 years, they seem to go.
Yeah. Depending on what you're ordering and depending on where you are. I mean, if you're ordering something that's been out for 5 years, maybe, right? So that's another thought. Where are we going to be? Is it a year? All right, what are we looking at? I mean, technology over the next 1 or 2 years for like switching and stuff like that isn't going to be too much different. A lot of it's the same. PoE, power over Ethernet for your phones, all your work phone, stuff like that. But it is going to be interesting to see how this continues, because at some point it's got to give.
Right. Right.
Because it's tough. I mean, a lot of my business is I go into some of these small businesses who haven't had any work done, and my pitch is, we're going to put this in place. You'll be more secure. But then I have to also say, well, it could be 6 to 8 months before I get the hardware. Right. So that's a tough pitch to have. Luckily, a lot of people again are dealing with it, so they understand. I have a client who is looking on doing a full upgrade of their entire network, processes. They're putting in a true ERP system, so their workflows are going to be different. And she's been looking at this for about 6 months, right? Because they had a provider they were going to go with, ended up going another route. But I've continued to kind of been chirping in her ear, like, listen, if you're getting close, you got to let me know, because we're going to be 4 to 8 months out until I can implement this, which they need to go live with their software. So it's really kind of throw a wrench into how you're planning these projects.
Right, because everything has to be planned even that much further. And even if you were being proactive, now you have to be super proactive.
Exactly.
Wow. And the supply chain, have you noticed, because I've been hearing too, the supply chain is one of the reasons the inflation is so bad. So I'm wondering, does it still cost the same amount of money to make the product?
So what I think is driving up some of that, I mean, it's your labor rates are going up, right?
Well, yeah.
So it's costed more bottom line. They're going to have to increase their pricing. I mean,
They have to get people to work.
Exactly. Finding people to work. That's the thing, is it's an employee's market.
They need to go back into the ransomware people. They're all there.
Right.
Sorry.
But it's an employee market, which we have never seen, right? Like, you've never been able to go somewhere and say, well, I'm going to go somewhere else, and you are now the commodity. Usually there's 10 people going up against you. I mean, we have constant where people just won't even show up for their interview, which is crazy to me.
That's horrible.
Oh, I mean, I get just give a call, say you got another job. That's
right,
fine.
Exactly.
But it's tough. Especially in the IT market. I mean, I would say you've seen a 10 to 15% increase in what these techs are getting paid over the last 2 years. So that's you're hitting a larger bottom line. So they're able to kind of spread their wings and maybe go get a job for another 10, 15,000 that they weren't able to get previously.
Wow. Yeah, it's been crazy in all industries like that. You said something before, and I wanted to, if I can go back to it. You said that you didn't go to school for what you do. You didn't go to college for what you do.
Correct.
Did you go to college?
I started.
You started?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you, and I guess I shouldn't have asked you personally that way, because my question would be, if there is someone like you who really likes the tech, what paths or what other degrees have you found, now that you've been out working, and experiences that those people might be able to bring to the table as well and add? Does that make sense?
I know what you're trying to say. Yeah. So, I mean, honestly, VOTech has come huge, right? Something that I've been working with some VOTech teachers. If I would have known, and they had it when I was in high school, but it wasn't as widely popular. I didn't talk to my guidance counselor until my junior year, just for the basic college stuff.
Right.
So if VOTech was more involved, I mean, they have computer science, they have coding and they have hardware. So I mean, if you're interested at a young age, I'd look into that. And, there's certificates you can take. There's technical schools you can go to where it's a tenth of the cost of college, and you get a little bit more.
My husband did go to college, but he did go to a technical school to get some kind of certificate.
Yeah. So, honestly, just learning. For instance, what we do is the troubleshooting and the mindset is really where it's at. Well, we see a lot of transition, and I've done it before, is people coming from the automotive industry who are mechanics coming into IT. Because your troubleshooting thought is the same, right? And if, I had somebody that we got connected with down in South Jersey who was in a mechanic for 10 years, maybe more, and had, we were talking on the phone, and this was a hobby. IT was a hobby of his, and he always was like, I'd love to be able to be in IT as my job. So he would do a lot of different labs at home and things that, most people wouldn't have. So he proactively learned, and within the year has really moved up at PCS.
Wow.
So you really don't. I never shun college, right? If that's something you want to do and that's what your career looks like, that's fine. But I started because I went my senior year of high school. I got early out. I left at noon, and I was able to go to work, and it was at that computer shop.
But you had hands-on experience.
Exactly.
Too.
That's so much more important, especially in this field. It's like the trades too. The trades are dwindling. IT is a trade. Absolutely.
It definitely is.
Yeah, and the trades are dwindling.
Yeah,
which is
IT
sad.
a little less because it's more prominent, right? People are looking at it, but trades are tough. You plumbers, your average plumber is like 55 years old, which
I had
is wild.
An awesome plumber this past week at our house who's down in Bordentown, so he came all the way up.
Oh, wow.
But he had an apprentice with him, and you could see, and they were unbelievable the work they did and how clean they were. That my house was immaculate. They were awesome.
Yep.
And he's but you're right. But I noticed he had an apprentice with him, and I'm like, thank goodness. And he was not 55 either, so I have to say he was younger too, which was good. The plumber himself, which was really good. The house was way older than 55, and he was not liking the amount of strength he had to put into. He did actually say, "Could anything in this house go right?" I'm like, no, welcome to my house. I don't think he meant me to hear it. I was home, but yeah. It's like, welcome to my house. That's the way it is. But he did a great job. So if anybody's interested in who he was, needs a plumber, I don't believe we have any plumbers in the chamber.
No, I wish we
So
did.
I'd be happy to share his name with you. Give the office a call. But I was wondering, and I guess my point is, would a business degree help as well? Someone does want to go to college. What would be a supportive degree is there a supportive degree for your industry? Business has always helped.
Of course, computer science, right?
Right, right, okay.
But computer science is such a broad degree.
Right.
You can go in so many different directions. We have a partnership with a cybersecurity firm that the owner has, partnerships with. And if you're trying to get into cybersecurity, we're not what you're looking for, right?
Right.
I got a resume handed to me, someone who's looking to get into cybersecurity. I'm going to call him because he's got, what we're looking for. But I also don't want to put you in a position that you're not going to do what you want to do, right?
Right.
Cybersecurity is much different. You're talking deep cybersecurity. You're talking pen testing. You're talking different types of essentially it's ethical hacking, right?
Yes,
you're trying to find the holes before the hackers
Yes,
do.
my cousin
right?
went to University of Maryland and graduated with that.
Yep. So it gives you the perspective of what the hackers do so you can develop applications to prevent it, right? So there's a lot of different ways you can go into IT. But for what we're doing, anyone that's just technical, it can even be a hop. If you're trying to get into cybersecurity and you don't have any experience, this is a good initial spot because we do some security practices that are all best practices from the cybersecurity firms. But when you get into if you want to go into forensics where you are going into an environment that was compromised and you're trying to follow the breadcrumbs in reverse to find where the holes were, where they got in and stuff like that, that's a different world than what we do.
That is really interesting. Very interesting. Very. All right, well, we have been we've been our hour, I believe, close to it. And so any last parting words of advice? Call you?
Yeah.
How can they find you? It's PCS.
PCS, we're in Red Bank. You can look up helpmepcs.com is our website. It shows all of our locations. And, they can call you. You know how to get in contact with me.
Yeah.
And, you always see, I drive around the PCS car. You can't miss me. Driving
Really? I don't know if I've ever seen your little PCS car because I'm always inside when you get somewhere. So I'm like, all right, now I'm going to drive around and look for your little PCS
You'll see
car.
me. I'm all over the place.
All right. So, and if you are interested in growing your network and
Don't forget to remind them about May 24th.
May 24th at the Courtyard
In
Red Bank on Half Mile Road, 5 to 7.
see you there.
I'll
See you
be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
One last thing. We were talking about education and vocational schools. I do want to go back to this really quick because it just reminded me. EMAC has an educational foundation.
Okay.
And what they do is they raise money to supply scholarships to non-traditional students. Students going to those kind of certificates, going for that kind of training, vocational schools, that kind of stuff. You live in Monmouth County. You can apply for these. You can apply for scholarships. They also do grants on a rotating basis of whenever you're doing specific projects. So you can find out more about that on emac.org, the foundation tab. Look that up. Scholarship applications will be up. They're supposed to be up this week. Sorry, guys, I haven't done that yet. They're coming up, though. You have about a month to do your scholarship, and they'll review that. But we're also fundraising for them, helping them raise money. So they are selling Super 50/50 raffles that are $10 a raffle. You can get those through our office or through Peter Pfister at the Kirchen Group. Which is also in Red Bank on Half Mile Road. And at any of our EMAC events, we have the tickets with us, and the drawing for that is June 27th.
Yes.
So help support our local non-traditional students. It could be what we were talking about, vocational schools, juniors going into some kind of trade, or it could be anyone over the age of 25 who's going back to school for something different. So those, it's the kids that have the people who have the non-traditional way of going to school, those loans and grants are sometimes harder to follow.
That's awesome.
So Shannon said, great job, Chris. Hi, Jennifer and Marie. Hi, Shannon.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thanks for listening. Anyway, so with that, we will actually be back here next week for a podcast. So we're 2 weeks in a row this month. We had to do it between the move and Memorial Day weekend. So we kind of had to push them 2 in a row. So we'll be back here in Red Bank, Chris Mad. So we'll be back here in Red Bank on next Friday as well from 9 to 10. You can always watch us live on Facebook at EMACNJ. And thank you guys very much for joining us. Chris, thank you so much.
Thank you
Marie.
guys for having me. I really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thanks for co-hosting.
Sure.
Covering my butt.
Have